the world building blows my mind.
Who the gives a about Jon Snow? Who cares? He's a whiny little bastard boy.
90% of this book is politicking.
I think I liked Arya just shy of Tyrion.
Oh,
as much.
It is awesome, and at some point here,
oh yeah,
you liked it. Yeah.
If I cared more, I knew I would love it.
Fuck. Okay. Welcome back to the Ramble episode. I'm one of your hosts, Austin.
I'm the other host, Richard.
A Clash of Kings, Book 2 of A Song of Ice and Fire. We're going to be reviewing it spoiler-free for the first 10 to 15 minutes, and then spoilers for the rest of the time.
We're finally feeding you, baby birds. We're finally feeding you. I've seen the comments on every other video we do. Clash of Kings when? Clash of Kings when? Bookborn asking Clash of Kings when? Well, Clash of Kings now.
When are you going to crank your cock? When are you going to crank out cock? Give us cock. You know how many of you said that? It was one of you, Andrew, in the Patreon, and then the rest of you followed. If I hear cranking cock one more time, I'm going to lose it. That's on the internet now.
Yeah, it is. It is. And
So,
you know how YouTube normally, like soft bans channels that are like videos that start cursing and are vulgar in the first 10 seconds? You failed already.
Yep.
Nick, help us out, please.
No, that's fine. So Clash of Kings, C-O-K is the joke everybody's making. So Bookborn got us to start this series. Very much thank you to Bookborn.
Thanks, Bookborn.
Thank you very much for starting this marvelous series. And we're going to give everybody, it's very much in the zeitgeist, but we'll catch people up on book 1 and where that ended, so we won't spoil this book yet. But Rich, that book ended with spoilers for book 1, not book 2, okay? Ned Stark's death.
Yes.
Ned Stark's death, it changed the fantasy genre, so if people hadn't heard of that so far, I'd be surprised. Let us know if I just spoiled that for you. I don't know if that's many people.
But thing is, if he did, it's on you. You clicked on a full spoiler review of book 2. It's on you.
Hey, there were enough warnings. And we get Robb as the King of the North at the end, and Catelyn looking at her boy, now turned to man, and a lot of other plot threads that we could summarize too. But that is the ultimate ending to the book. And so we're going right into Clash of Kings with, okay, Ned Stark died. Now there's a competing for the Iron Throne, because we have Ned Stark claims, rightfully so, that Joffrey is actually the bastard of Cersei and Jaime Lannister. Or sorry, is the child of Cersei and Jaime Lannister, not the true-born king of Robert Baratheon. Look at that guy's gold hair. There's no way he's Robert Baratheon's heir. Ned uncovers this plot in book 1. And so now we have Joffrey, who is the current sitting on the Iron Throne, but now we have Stannis Baratheon, a brother who's coming into play, the brother of Robert's next in line kin, but also Renly Baratheon, the younger brother.
More handsome,
he's more capable, apparently.
Honestly, just general better person, comparatively speaking, is also vying for the throne. And then you also have Robb, of course, who's not vying for the Iron Throne, but just his own throne in the north. And then you also, now with this book, is that a spoiler? That would be
Spoiler free.
Spoiler free.
Yeah.
You got more. There's plenty of kings. You got Daenerys. Daenerys wants the throne back, though. That's, yeah. All the kings and one queen are trying for the Iron Throne.
Yes, and we get a lot of clashing here. So spoiler-free thoughts. This is, okay, written by George R. R. Martin. I feel like we don't have to give all this info. It's really well known. But George R. R. Martin wrote this back in the 90s is when Game of Thrones came out. Then Clash of Kings, I think, was 98. Who would like this series? Well, epic fantasy fans would love this series. I think if you're already looking at book 2 and you read Game of Thrones, continue. It's the same quality wise of writing and that kind of stuff. Nothing there dips. It's George R. R. Martin, of course. I don't want to overstate too much because this has been said a bunch of times. So let's get into our personal thoughts then and our review. So A Clash of Kings, what were your thoughts? What was your spoiler-free reaction of book 2? Did it exceed book 1 for you? Because I know book 1, you liked it, but it didn't emotionally hit, right? Do you want to explain that to people?
Sure. Most of my thoughts with the book, I will be going through my own personal lens, which unfortunately is the worst experience to enjoy this series. I never really watched the full show. I've seen clips. I've been spoiled on basically everything that happens in the show without actually watching it, along with me being curious about the world building of Westeros. And so I've seen videos on YouTube and Reddit reading, so I know all the theory crafting, all that kind of stuff, or at least enough. So I have been thoroughly spoiled without actually being able to fall in love with these characters. So now when I am reading the books, I am reading it with all the show spoilers without any of the show ties. Like I didn't fall in love with the characters of the show and then I get to read the book. No, I just kind of know what happens. So I'm just coming in a little bit disconnected. So I feel like a little bit like an outsider. I liked this book. It's a good
More than
book.
one or less than one?
About the same.
Same? Okay.
Yeah, about the same. It's not that different. But
you're a bundle of fucking joy.
My lowest category is emotional impact.
Okay.
But objectively speaking, yeah, it's a really great book. It's great. People are going to like it. I know people are liking it. I get it. It's just, it feels like homework to me right now. Which it kind of is.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can't believe I finally got you to read book 2 after so long. We said we'd skip a month. We skipped like 4, 5. So you kept skipping months.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you got away with it other than, hey, Austin, we should read this book.
Uh-huh.
You kept shoving things on that TBR. Yeah.
If that's emblematic of what's to come. If it were up to me, Game of Thrones won't be finished. I will not.
Song of Ice and Fire.
I will not finish this series until,
George does.
George does.
It's evil. Okay. So I'm coming into this series having watched the show and obsessed with the show. Watched it maybe 10 times, at least. Watched seasons 1 through 6 at least 10 times, and then obviously with how the show ended completely. We're not going to give show spoilers or anything beyond book 2, by the way. Just saying what I'm coming into this with. So having watched the show and loved it so much, and then hated the last season, the worst thing ever. That's what I'm coming in this with, and. Book 1 of Game of Thrones, we had a review with Bookborn. You could check out that one, where I gave Game of Thrones 5 stars, floored me. Did you give your rating yet for this book?
Oh,
yeah.
Sure.
What's your spoiler-free rating?
4.0. Great book.
Great book?
Great book.
It's probably the same you gave the last one, too.
Yeah. It's about the same.
I gave this book, A Clash of Kings, 4.75 stars. This one nearly floored me. This was obviously an excellent book. There is...
But less than book 1.
If I had to rank it, yeah.
Okay.
If I had to. Now, a few interesting things. This book is where Tyrion just becomes the GOAT. I love so much about this. The way this book is structured, the King's Landing stuff, which is the A plot, all the clashing of kings. The A plot is flawless perfection. I love it. Give me more. And then a lot of the B plots with the other characters, just more emotionally going like, hey, get me back to King's Landing sometimes. Like I'm itching to go back. And so a lot of the plot points with some of the other point of views could feel like more setup for A Storm of Swords, which I hear is one of the greatest books ever. But some of the other characters that you'll follow, if they're less involved in the main A plot line, they're setting up things that are going to be paid off in book 7, which will never come, but also in books 3, 4, 5, which I'm sure. Yep. So excellent. I got to say, after reading this from coming to the show, the world building blows my mind. The characters are... I get even more details of the characters I already love from the show, and I could see why the show became so successful, because all the best scenes from the show, they just ripped from the book. The dialogue that's the best in the show is just a 1-for-1.
Yeah, that was the impressive part is quite literally when I'm reading the book going, oh, wow, they pulled the dialogue exactly, like scene for scene. Like I know this scene from the show. I've seen the clip. I've seen, Tyrion, like all the Tyrion best lines. Like I feel like it's mostly his dialogue was pulled right from this book. And yeah, it worked. Of course it worked well.
Of course.
It's great.
Yes. So
It's great. Great stuff.
anything else you my best category
Go
here's
ahead. Here's your best category.
here's the breakdown, by the way, on screen here for our categories, what we gave them. My best, they're tied for a lot. The characters blew my mind. Characters, world, and prose, and plot. No, character, world, and prose. I'll say are the best categories.
My best characters are plot and prose.
Plot and prose.
Plot and prose are definitely the best.
Gotcha. All right, want to spoiler this then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Full spoilers.
Spoiler warning. Click off now if you don't want to be spoiled. A Clash of Kings.
Good.
Emotional impact. Would you give it out of 5 stars?
A 3.5. It was good. And yeah, it was good.
I give it a 4.5. I give it a spectacular 4.5 stars.
Yeah.
So
No.
this was your lowest one.
Yep.
Okay.
I-
Explain your feelings. How'd you traverse this book?
The biggest aspect is there were several character POVs that I was more actively bored with. Of like, come on, get on with it. I don't care. I don't care about these characters. Don't care about you. This scene I know is important. Like this whole big setup. And I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Which character
Move
point
on.
of view was the most boring for you? Because there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 main ones. I'm not going to count. Okay, you could say Davos as well, and don't count the prologue with Crescent. Okay,
Yes, yeah.
so there's basically 9 point of views. Which
in
one was
order,
yeah.
in order of most uninteresting to least uninteresting? Jon, Bran, Daenerys.
Those 3 you didn't like as much. Yeah,
Yeah,
got it.
Daenerys. It's fine, but I
You
don't
said
like.
Jon, Bran, and Daenerys.
Yeah.
Those are my bottom 3 too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Jon, I don't understand why people love Jon Snow yet. I book 2 in, and people go, "Oh, they love Jon Snow." I'm reading, going, "Who the fuck gives a shit about Jon Snow? Who cares? He's a whiny little bastard boy. I don't care about any
Finally,
of his plight.
you understand my feelings toward Rand.
I don't give a shit.
Finally, you empathize.
I don't care at all.
Now,
Like I actually really give a shit about Catelyn Stark. I like Catelyn Stark quite a lot, so much more than her not son.
so John for you, Bran, and Dany.
Yeah.
Those 3 point of views didn't do it for you as much. Yeah, those were the less interesting of the ones, I'd say, for me too. But which one was Catelyn your favorite?
Yeah, Catelyn Stark. It's tied. It's Catelyn and Tyrion.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah, because however, a surprising one of like if we're talking purely emotions, not anything further of like the plot details or excitement. Theon. The Theon chapters. Those get you. They get you hating. Like you're set up to really not like Joffrey, and of course Joffrey sucks. He's terrible. But at a certain point, it just feels normal. Like the sting is gone. Like it's expected. You don't. It doesn't rise any
It's not even
higher.
for shock. It's just
Exactly.
George already shoved your face in the mud, and now he's just letting you
moving
stay there.
around. He's letting you stay in the
Yeah.
mud, but it's not
You're
like
not getting muddier.
you're already dirty.
You're
with
already
it.
muddied. Yeah.
Theon, every chapter with him, you just hate him even more. It's amazing how it's like, oh, I hate him so much. He's just like Joffrey. He has Joffrey's arrogance. He has Joffrey's, like, he's a dumbass. And just every part about it, he's a leech. Like, all of these things. He's terrible. And he just keeps getting worse. And somehow is worse than Joffrey. I don't know how that's possible.
He's one of my favorite characters in this book, as in character development and arc. Yeah.
Joffrey feels so twistedly evil. It's almost the most ridiculous part of the book. Theon feels a little bit more grounded, wicked, and it more believable in a way. So I was down. I was down on the Theon hate train. So I enjoyed those chapters.
Did you know enough spoilers to know that the scene of him going back to the Iron Islands, that him meeting that woman was his sister?
I didn't know that
did-
one.
that was a secret to
I
you.
liked that
So
one.
you don't have every spoiler.
I don't
then.
have every spoiler.
You didn't know that.
I don't know.
So
I don't know every spoiler. I
That's-
just know some significant
Yeah.
ones.
So you
I
could
liked
have
that
fun with
scene.
that stuff because that's an unknown. Because in the show they changed her name to Yara, but it's Asha
Yeah.
here. So when he was talking to Asha, that reveal of she's the sister, what was your reaction? You have an actual
That was
genuine
great.
reaction because you hadn't had that.
No, that
spoiled.
was fun.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's twisted. And you love the banter back and forth between of like her having him between her fingers, just twirling around her pinky. And just him being the worst, just the absolute worst. And then him saying, yeah, by the way, I'm your sister. I'm just fucking with you. And basically you've now told me all of your plans and how little you think of your own father and everything. So all of your plans at trying to infiltrate our family again and take over, ruined. And also I'm just going to humiliate you as well.
Theon's pathetic.
He's pathetic.
Yeah.
He's
it's wonderful to watch.
Pathetic, great.
Read.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I loved that scene. That was great. I had a great time with that.
Yeah. Asha.
That's honestly a highlight scene for the entire book for me.
It wasn't spoiled for you. So
It wasn't spoiled.
Imagine if you went into all this raw.
Oh yeah. I
so
imagine
delightful.
I would love this series a lot more if I wasn't.
Man, that's very unfortunate. But yeah, so talking emotionally, what does this book hit? What kind of emotions did it hit for you? Is it kind of that, hey, your face is already in the mud, that those Theon chapters that you appreciated, or why did you think it was good?
That's a reason
overall?
why I would almost give book 1 a higher emotional score than this book. I think because your face is already in the dirt of like, yeah, grim world, people, all the people you like are dying, all the wickedness wins, all this stuff. You get used to it at a certain point, and so when something shocking happens, like it's not as shocking. I'm like, oh, of course the rest of the Starks die. Of course they kill everyone at Winterfell. Why not? That's how it is. Just every little bit, I'm like, yeah, all right.
But they didn't,
I know they didn't kill all. They killed all the rest of the townspeople. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But all the rest of the different deaths are just, okay. Oh, Rhaenys died. He's the good king. Oh, hey, look, we have some hope. Rhaenys,
Renly
Renly Baratheon is.
You combined Stannis and Renly.
I did.
Rhaenys. Stenly.
Stenly.
That's a fantasy name.
But oh, hey, he's the not terrible one. He actually has a good head on his shoulders. He would actually make a decent king. Of course he dies. Of course.
Hey, we still got Rob though.
Yeah, sure, that's gonna work.
Yeah, well.
Yeah,
I'm confident.
Yeah.
So then, if we're looking, then the point of view, you're saying it was grim. You felt it grim. Did you find any other emotion? Was there some sense of hope? Was there something, or do you think this was? Would you consider this grimdark? I guess.
Sure, it's a grimdark world, but
okay.
The difference is there's clearly good guys and bad guys. And we talked about this in book 1 of something you see a lot with grimdark novels will be just every character's gray, or not just gray, but every character is different shades of black. Everyone's evil. It just depends on what side you're viewing it from. And Game of Thrones does have good characters. Like Arya is the good one. Arya is supposed to be your hero. Same with Catelyn, same with Rob. Like the
Tyrion.
Starks. The Starks are the good guys. Tyrion,
flawed, but I'm rooting for him always. Yeah.
Comparatively to everyone else, not just in his family, but everyone else in Westeros, he's not the worst. He's far from it. Actually, sometimes gives a shit about other people, which seems to be a quality lacking in most people here.
Well, Melisandre, the Red Woman, I always say her name wrong. I'll say the Red Woman and Davos have a conversation at one point. It's a small conversation in there, but Davos is saying, she's saying that an onion's either rotten or it's not. There's good and evil, and Davos is saying back to her that, well, that's the conversation they essentially have. Is one saying, is there just good versus evil, which the Red Woman thinks, or is it more complicated than that? You're a man with flaws, yet it's more gray. That conversation.
What I found more interesting was Stannis's point of view on it, of how he punished Davos and like, hey, you've done me a great honor. You saved all my men. You broke through the siege. Great. I will reward you with being a knight. However, your good deeds will be rewarded, but your your past evils must also be punished. They do not wipe each other out. So he cuts off the fingers. And his explanation of just because you did a good deed doesn't wipe out the bad. Like evil deserves punishment, good deserves rewards. I thought it was interesting. I thought Stannis made it's cold. It's a cold view of justice and all that, but seems relatively fair. So I liked seeing that perspective of it, and why the red woman would work with him more often. Like they seem more closely aligned in that.
Yeah, and the prologue of the Clash of Kings is from the perspective of Crescent, the maester who is trying to poison the red woman.
Yeah,
and perfect prologue. I loved the setup, and it also gives you the setup and promise of the book of, hey, what's going to happen ultimately at the end of this book? Who's going to win Blackwater? Also, who are you rooting for in Stannis versus the Lannisters as well? That's another question. But because you got Tyrion on one side, so there's a lot to that. More on that later. But the prologue setting up that, hey, tries to poison the red woman. Red woman doesn't get poisoned, ends up killing himself. That sets the tone early on.
Yeah.
And some standout scenes. So a lot of the stuff I love that emotionally pulled me. The most exciting parts of this, even knowing the spoilers that are going to happen, was the one-on-one scenes we got, the intimate dialogue scenes between, for example, Catelyn and Jaime or Guttural. All the things at King's Landing between Tyrion and Cersei, and then during the Battle of Blackwater, sure, the action was very fun and awesome, but also just Cersei and Sansa and that dynamic. Anytime we had our point of view characters in just a mesmerizing scene of both the wit in Tyrion's dialogue and also the layers that he's able to give each character. Everybody feels so real. Everybody is like, it's so fun to watch even the politicking scene, because 90% of this book is politicking. 90% of this book is, at least the interesting stuff too, it's King's Landing and how is Tyrion going to defend King's Landing against Stannis Baratheon, and watching him come up with all these different foils and plans to stop Cersei and also be a hand who's also seen it by the people as being blamed for all the faults of the society, because he's the imp. They don't even blame Cersei or Joffrey. They're like, oh, it's got to be the imp, of course. And Tyrion was probably my favorite part emotionally of every time that he was involved in the scene, whether he was saving Sansa from being publicly humiliated by Joffrey, or he was making his political plan of giving Varys, Peter Baelish, and Pycelle different information each, so we could figure out who was the one that was on Cersei's side.
Yeah.
Everything that he was doing was just awesome to read. And then
I also appreciated from him. This is probably a little bit of a character thing, but I wanted to note so I don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how several times throughout this book he had an opportunity and he didn't forget his promise to the Night's Watch. And when he had an opportunity to, he was sending people to the wall and made it look like it was out of hand. It was for a slight, but he was sending them men. Like he was told and promised, like, hey, look, the wall needs men. We are short. And Tyrion's like, when I'm there, I will send you more. He's actually fulfilling it. And it seems like just a small thing. He's very busy and he's still doing that. I like it.
A Lannister always pays his debts.
Yeah.
And Catelyn was also one of the favorites to watch as well and to read. Her involvement, getting the Stannis versus Renly confrontation, that was very tense. And a lot of the stuff we didn't get in the show involving Stannis was when it came to Stannis versus Penrose and Storm's End. I don't remember that in the show very much. Maybe I haven't seen it in a while. I have seen the show so much, I would have remembered, I think. But a big difference between this and the show. One big difference, I don't know if you know this, but in Arya's chapters, Arya, when she's in Harrenhal in the book, does not interact with Tywin, while in the show, I would say this. I don't know what D&D, the David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, if I said that right, the show writers, what they were doing in the early seasons, but they perfectly adapted the show in seasons 1 and 2. But also the thing they added by having Arya be Tywin's servant in Harrenhal was a fantastic addition.
Some of my favorite clips on YouTube from the show.
That's so sad.
I have seen all those. It's great. Yeah, I love it.
It's tense. It's
I
interesting.
was looking forward to that.
That's so my 4.5 stars. I think there was a couple of scenes that were with like Arya's point of view and Bran's and others where it was the lull waiting for, setting up and allowing the plot to stew while we got to the more interesting stuff happening. I do understand we can't rush the White Walkers in the north with Jon, and we can't just rush Dany's coming to Westeros right now. No, she's in Korth, and there's this House of the Undying. There's some all the world stuff happening over there. Awesome, but the most investment I had was obviously the main plot point, the main storyline with Tyrion defending King's Landing and basically over everybody's dead body too. So. Is there any standout scene that you had that surprised you from having spoilers and seeing it in the book and going like, oh, I didn't, how the Asha thing surprised you and going, oh, I didn't know that was his sister. Was there another thing like that you ran into?
Any big surprise?
Something that you weren't spoiled, maybe.
Maybe I wasn't spoiled on. No, I can't think of anything big that I wasn't. I can't remember another moment where I was particularly shocked. But what did more shock me was how much I liked Arya. I think I liked Arya just shy of Tyrion.
Oh,
as much. So I like, even though, most of her chapters are just set up and for things to come. I enjoyed her chapters a lot. I liked her point of view, just her. As far as many of the characters go, she has some of the most personality. Especially with the Starks. Like, if we're going to get a Stark, like, Jon is just nothing. He's just a big ball of nothing.
He's Snow.
He's Snow. He is your insert audience character. He has nothing to him. Maybe he'll get a personality one day. I hope so. But Arya, feisty little Arya fighting for her life and somehow getting by with the skin of her teeth just because everyone's like, you're a feisty little 11-year-old. I like you. You're going to live another day. It's pretty great. I like that. Like that stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Anything about the Battle of Blackwater, I'm sure you're spoiled all that stuff. You knew who was going to save the day.
Yeah.
Anything, how do you like the final culmination, the end sequence? That I guess that's the biggest emotional pull, is that's where some of our character point of views come together with Tyrion, Sansa, Davos, Stannis, all of them. But thoughts on that?
It was fine. It was not the highlight for me.
What highlight was the Asha scene?
More so, yeah.
God. Wow.
I mean, Blackwater is fine, but it was fine. But I was spoiled too much of it. I'm sorry. I can only say what my emotional reaction to it. I'm like, I know. Yeah, I get it.
So I get that. Obviously, I'm spoiled everything too. Was it interesting to at least see when the dialogue, the politicking scenes are happening, the world building, to see the more depth that this book is? Because even though Blackwater's happening, you get so much. How cool is it, Tyrion leading the charge and just being? I know his speech is also similar to in the show too, but Tyrion and Podrick saving the day and Joffrey. Honestly, that whole sequence of events going between Tyrion and Sansa was done so well in the show adaptation too. Like, they got across the Cersei Sansa stuff very well.
Oh yeah, the great comparison between Cersei and Sansa of like who would actually make a better queen. And yeah, Cersei is more manipulative and evil. And she's better at politicking, but Sansa actually has a heart that people would be willing to follow. She could actually win the hearts of the people rather than Cersei, which always has to manipulate by fear.
And Sansa, this is a loss of innocence for her. She gets her period, obviously, but more than that, it's kind of seeing this flowery, beautiful world and knights in shining armor. The what is it? The Knight of Flowers, Loras. This idea she has, the pageantry of knighthood and all these things, just gets slowly corrupted and destroyed.
Even her one little bit of hope of the fool knight that she somewhat saves.
Yeah.
And ultimately, like he goes, I'm gonna save you, Sansa. And she's like, great. When? Now? Are we actually gonna leave? It's like, no, but I got a plan. It's gonna be on Joffrey's wedding day. And she's like, that's so far away, man. Why? Why are we waiting so long? It's like, well, the worst the plan is like, I got you something. And he gives her like this fancy whatever net gift. Who gives a shit? And she's going like, I don't need this. I need a ship away. I need to leave. Why are you giving me jewelry? I don't need jewelry. I need to leave. Get me out of here. Like, even her hero is just pathetic.
Well, and the plan makes sense of, hey, while everyone's distracted, we need to leave.
Sure,
Yeah.
but every second goes by, like, he knows, she knows. All it takes is Joffrey to like, I'm gonna kill you anyway. They both know that. Like, she's living on the razor's edge. Why can't you figure out a sooner plan? It's just because he's a coward. And honestly, because I don't know anything about what happens to that character. I don't know what happens to him.
Okay, there you go.
I'm gonna assume he doesn't succeed, but I don't know. I don't know what happens.
Find out.
I'll find out next book.
Find out.
The bigger thing that my assumption is he's delaying all this because he has fallen in love with Sansa, and so he wants more time. And he's trying to, back her up, and he's delaying this whole rescue plan.
Gotcha.
Because he actually isn't going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my theory.
Okay.
We'll find out because, yeah.
I just also want to mention an emotional impact. Brienne. That's all. Just mention Brienne.
Oh, yeah. I like Brienne's nice. She's cool.
She's great.
She's cool.
But before we get into anything else for emotional impact stuff, these scenes, I know we went kind of
Yeah,
scatterbrained.
Is
there a specific scene you want to mention before we go on to thought-provokingness?
Nah, that's fine.
What'd you give thought-provokingness out of 5 stars?
4.0. Great. Does a great job.
I give it a 4 as well. Great thought-provokingness. Great themes, very solid. Yeah.
Everything about a mother's duty, the role that especially in the world of Westeros, what role does a wife have, the difference between men and women, that playing across as well. Cersei going like, hey, I have the personality, like, especially by the end, her saying that Jaime and I all, like, we looked identical. And then one day, he's being taught the sword and how to lead men, and I'm taught how to dance and be sold off. And so her lamenting that. I like that difference between, Cersei being bitter about her
What a
role.
compelling character. My God.
Ultimately kind of having everything, or everything she should, and still being bitter, and for some decent reason, like, I get it why she would be sour and bitter. But then you look at Catelyn Stark, and she is in much the same position as Cersei, but she doesn't take she takes it with gratitude of, the wonderful lives she's had with her children, the gratitude of having a good husband, and all these great things, and she misses her, like, that's all she really wants is her family, and what she's willing to do to save the rest of them, and we'll find out more, but how everything is slipping away from her, and we'll see what happens to Cersei if that ever happens.
It's so compelling how Cersei versus Catelyn works as well, because Cersei being a twin and being essentially equal until, wait, we're now a certain age and now things are different, feels like that something got taken away from you and you got the worst end of the deal. Then Catelyn, who ended up having to mature quickly because siblings dying and different life upbringings formed how they just, whether they're good, evil, or gray. So Catelyn, why she comes across as a much nicer character, has a lot to do with that. There's a lot that it touches on with through lines of war,
you
war,
have
knighthood, oaths.
Theon compared to, I don't know, pick a snow, and you see how, God, I love Theon's internal dialogue of just blaming literally everyone, but like, I
We have a friend like that.
yeah, kind of do. But no, it's just him walking into Winterfell, taking over the castle, killing their guards, killing their lords and all these people, and then just going like, they're wanting to betray me. They just hate me so much. Why do I have traitors all around me? Don't they know how much worse I could have been to them? It's like, how do you not an inkling of thinking outside yourself? Like, just an ounce of not even empathy, just emotional intelligence of, maybe the people that I, betrayed, killed all their friends, sacked their city and took control, and also killed the lords that they actually kind of liked, wouldn't win me a lot of favors. And I love how he still does not understand that.
Yeah, in his head, he's thinking, hey, he was taken at 10 years old by the Starks to prevent another Greyjoy rebellion, and he feels like his childhood was taken away from him, and now he's coming back, and I'm going to get back. Yeah, Dad, I'm going to... he has this what was like inferiority complex. Is that the right word? And
yeah.
Pathetic, and it's... What a lovely character to hate. And
he
happens?
Has both. He wants to be a Greyjoy of like, oh yeah, no, screw the Starks. Like, the Starks have always like kept me prisoner, and I hate them. I'm a Greyjoy. But then when he's with the Starks, he's like, why don't they love me? Why do they look at me with such contempt? Why do they hate me so much? I grew up with them. I was raised with them, and they still looked at me with derision. It's like, we can't have both ways. You Greyjoy, or are you a Stark? Were you always a prisoner and you knew it? Or why are you pining after the love of the Starks and their people when you're telling yourself you're a Greyjoy? Like, you can't have both. And again, that's the point. He's a dumbass. I love it.
It's awesome. One big through line too. The book opens up. A lot of the chapters open up with this comet, and you see different characters' point of view. Look at the comet. To Dany, it's like, ooh, the dragons have returned. Or one goes, oh, we're going to win the war. Like all these different reactions to a comet flying through the sky, and how societies, cultures, individuals interpret that. There's this through line throughout the book with that and other basically misleading information, or how word travels throughout the world. Another example being, did Brienne or Catelyn kill Renly? Well, neither. Was Stannis Red Woman demon stuff, right? Another one, demon magic. Another one, Bran and Rickon, are they dead? Well, it's spread that they're dead. So there's kind of this through line theme about how little we know. You can hear something and go with that information, or on the other hand, interpret a sign to fulfill your cause, and that's the sign. Lisa Nagaib, yes, the comet is here. And so that was a nice through line of the book of both the history and the symbols throughout was kind of fun to play with in a lot of the scenes.
A lot of that fate stuff was fun with not Theon, but Davos and the Red Woman.
Davos, yes.
Sir Davos. Because when Davos is talking with the Stannis Baratheon about, the Red Woman saw it in the fire that I was fated to win this and all that. Like, I will win. I will succeed. And yet it requires him to do his part as well. And it's like, yeah, I also saw multiple futures. And he's going like, wait a minute. If it's fated that you'll win, but it requires me helping you, like, this is not like Providence. It's like, I actually have to do the work.
He's skeptical. Yeah.
And then beyond that, going, wait a minute, it was fated, and yet there's multiple fates. How do you know this one's going to come true if you knew there were multiple outcomes? And so it was just him questioning the Red Woman's like, yeah, sure, you see it in the fate, but then you just make it come true. It's not like you predicted the future. You just kind of made it happen.
So it's, toying with the idea of fate. Yeah. Right. And any other through lines you noticed, or big themes? Something. What do you think you'll think about the most thinking back to this book?
Back to this book?
Yeah.
I think you get more with Catelyn in book 1, I think, of just her grief as a mother. This one's there, but I wanted more with Catelyn and Robb, which is kind of sidelined in this book. Like, you just don't get a lot of that.
Yeah, she sent south, right?
Yeah, it's mostly about, mostly ego. How much ego gets in the way of, like, you see different leaders, and not only is, does the right leader win? Like, is it the smartest? Is it the bravest? Is it the cleverest? Who comes out on top? And often it's just dumb luck or the most ruthless, as where you, of course, get someone like Renly, who, for all accounts, seems like he'd actually be a decent king. Seems to be, people like him, fairly smart, not a complete dumbass. He is brave enough. All the general, like, oh, this seems like a decent person. And of course, he doesn't win because Stannis has magic on his side. Same thing with Joffrey and Theon Greyjoy, of him trying to take the throne of the Starks. So I think that's the kind of thing I'll be looking back on this book.
Do you want to go into character time then?
Sure.
What would you give characters out of 5 stars?
4.0. Great characters.
This is where 5 stars for me floored me. Yeah.
No, if we just had more Tyrions, Catelyn Stark, Arya's, and Theons, yeah, it would be 5 stars. But Jon, Bran, and Daenerys, like, kind of dragged it for me. I don't think I could give it 5 stars.
Now, what about talk the good first? Tyrion.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tyrion had the most. As far as plot wise, he's just the most fun to follow. As far as a character goes, we got the little introduction in book 1 with a little bit on the sympathetic origin story from Tyrion. The reason why he's kind of so bitter and cynical is because of Tysha, I believe.
Yep,
is the name. I'm
Yep.
pronouncing it right. The woman that he fell in love with, and then found out through his brother Jaime that she was actually a whore that he paid off, and so his love has been, love isn't real. It's all paid for. No one actually would love him, and now him falling in love with Shay again, and that relationship, and just how that's twisted him, and how he's always wants to be loved, and basically turned down on every turn, and always mistrusting. So that is far more compelling. He's probably the most compelling character in this book, as far as, like,
He's like your
personality.
protagonist if you had to pick one.
Yeah, if I had to pick one,
Yeah.
probably our protagonist of the book.
He has the most chapters as well. I believe he has 15 chapters, and the next closest is Arya with 10.
Mm-hmm.
So by and large, has the most chapter point of views. Yeah, Tyrion in this is where I think he takes away who we know as a culture, Tyrion Lannister. Book 1, obviously, he already had his quips and lines, witty dialogue, got out of the situation in the Eyrie. So we already saw that, but this was on full display, seeing how Tyrion operates and is able to coexist with his sister, and able to how his reactions toward her, his interactions with her and with Joffrey, and having Jaime not there, but his connection with Jaime basically being a safeguard against him getting killed by Cersei is
kinda.
Yeah, no, because Cersei would kill him. Like, she hates Tyrion, but knows how much Jaime loves Tyrion, and so that's like that's an interesting dynamic. We'll probably get more into in later books, but
by the end, she more than likely sent that other knight to kill Tyrion, make sure he doesn't live Blackwater. So it's not
can't do it out in the open, but could you sneak something?
My guess is what only protects Tyrion is has to be circumspect enough. Like, it has to be not obvious where Jaime wouldn't blame her. If it was like, oh, he was killed by poison, Jaime's immediately going to look at Cersei like, that was you.
He died in battle. Oh,
it's a little bit more understandable.
Yeah. But Tyrion, he is the character has a witty enough author to write an actual witty, compelling character. Like, Tyrion is the standard other authors will go to and use and try to emulate to make that archetype. And his backstory with Tysha is a big motivation for him. He he drinks, he sleeps with Shay, he gives into his vices a lot, and so it's this character that, again, compared to the other Lannisters, but even just compared to the Starks and world in general, you see through him giving aid back to the Night's Watch. You see his heart work. He wants to pay his debts. He is doing things like, so a big scene, for example, where Joffrey is berating Sansa after Robb wins a victory or something like that, and Joffrey is publicly humiliating Sansa, and Tyrion goes in there and just shuts it down. And so when you see your character defending the other good characters as well, and doing it in a way that's kind of showing up to Joffrey, who in all other regards, Joffrey's just a brat. And so anytime you see a character go against a brat and get like a quick shutdown, it's always satisfying. So Tyrion is in so many parts of this book that the end scene we get from him, where he's kind of getting his memory back from the battle, and he's starting to remember, what happened to me? Oh, I was scarred in the face. Oh, and then he looks in the mirror and sees he's scarred he's scarred all across his face. And so is he just an imp? Now he has that. And now he's thinking even more, having this complex about Ty should never even loved him in this first place. Shay probably doesn't even love him either. Like, they're just whores. Like, of course, I give them money. Look, I'm a Lannister. Look at me. Like, I'm this disgusting. And that whole character is what makes him like somebody that's admirable too, because he's dealing with the worst of odds or the worst of luck, but also somehow comes out where you're always rooting for the guy. Like, I'm rooting for him as much as I'm rooting for Ned's dead body at this point. Like, Tyrion is the man.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, he's the ultimate. I guess he's kind of like the ultimate underdog in the story. I mean, there are other characters that have it worse off than him in the moment.
No, Sansa's direwolf would be.
Yeah, because dead.
Under the ground, underdog.
I like that. That was good.
Thanks,
that was good.
Sorry. It took me like 20 seconds to come up with that in my head.
I'll be honest. I'm not even fully buying that like Sansa's dog died. Did it actually die?
Rafa.
I don't know.
We didn't find out.
I don't know. They chased it off or something.
No, that's Arya's.
Oh,
Sansa's direwolf was the one Ned cut the throat. Yeah, we do know that is confirmed.
That one's dead.
Yep.
But Arya's
ran
away.
We don't know.
If it ran away, it's probably still around. So,
see.
But no, but in terms of just life situations,
yeah,
Tyrion has a lot going for him. Yeah, he is insanely wealthy, but his sister wants to kill him, hated by his family, hated by the entire city, has the most amount of responsibility, also a dwarf. Everyone thinks him a monster. His backstory of basically him trying to find love and being tricked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tragic character.
Emotional,
yeah.
Like, at least Arya had a good childhood. Like, she had a loving father and mother. Like,
yeah.
She has something to go back on. Her present situation sucks.
And you know what Tyrion really does for all of us? The Starks, okay, Robb's winning battles and whatnot, but the Starks and the good guys are constantly losing up to this point and can't go like, F you Lannisters. The one person that can is Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion's the one character that can actually put jabs at the Lannisters where the Starks are failing miserably. So you're going finally. Good. Yes. Get him.
Yeah.
Stick him, Tyrion.
No. That one's beneath me. That joke's beneath me. Good. I was about to do it.
I'm proud of you.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's Tyrion. Then we have the other Lannisters with Cersei, for example. So I think we already mentioned like the compelling part about her of growing up with a twin, and then this divergence of, wait a second, we were all the same growing up, and then all of a sudden now Jaime's this and I'm that. And having this where it's constantly mentioned by Tyrion and others in dialogue as well. She wants to be she wished she were born a man in a way, because she feels less, she could accomplish so much more.
But the funnier part with that is her thinking that she could accomplish so much more if she were a man.
Yeah.
And then ultimately No, if she were a man, she would accomplish probably just as much. Like, she isn't as smart as she thinks she is. She's constantly
The
it-
Lancel stuff. Let's talk about that.
it's not her sex that holds her back. It's she's not as smart. She's not as witty. She doesn't see through everything. Like,
She thought she discovered Shay.
yeah.
She's like, hey, I found out. And then it's just a random person.
Well, no, it's the person that Tyrion was we went to the whorehouse openly.
Yes, but it wasn't the Shay person.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he tricked her, she didn't trick him. Yeah.
Exactly. But all the little things of how she determines to rule the kingdom of, just kill them. And Tyrion and all the other advisors go, yeah, if you do that, you're gonna get a riot on your hands. Don't we need to kill them with actual circumspect, or how to deal with the rumors of, put all the people that are talking about my son not being the true heir, put them to death. And he's like, yeah, if you cut out their tongues, you're not proving them liars. You're proving them true. We should ignore it. That's how you let it go away.
When you tear out a man's tongue, you are not
Yeah.
proving him a liar. You're only telling the world that you fear what he might say.
Thank you. Great quote.
Yes. And that is and that is Cersei's character in a nutshell, is thinking she's smarter than she is, but having this twisted villainy to her. That I like how the villains and the bad people in this whole series they're all different villains. So Theon's a different kind of pathetic villain versus Joffrey's the brat. Cersei's got that twisted, this complex to her that is different from the prior two. They each have their own hateable ways. And Cersei, so that one scene with trying to find out Shay. The other one that appears with Lancel, that she's sleeping with Lancel. She's just incest everywhere. Cousins, brothers, anybody. She's sleeping. You show that even though she says she loves Jaime so much, this incestual relationship.
Also, she cheats on Jaime, which is the least of her sins.
Which we find out Jaime has only slept with one person.
And it's been his sister.
He is the jab. Oh my God. The dialogue in this book it's fucking phenomenal. Okay. Is in the conversation with Catelyn goes like, yeah, I've been more loyal to my fucking incestual sister than Ned was to you. And Catelyn, and that's where we see her take out a sword and cutscene.
We'll find out.
We'll find out. But wow, it's good. We get very little of Jaime and Tywin as far as Lannisters go, because they are not. Which I
think we got one scene with Tywin.
I really wanted my Tywin Arya scenes. I really did.
Yeah, that was a genuine improvement.
In the show, I'm impressed. Yeah.
No, that was great. I mean, we get a little bit of Arya playing that role, but not to any significant degree. It was more plot relevant than character depth.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then we have the Starks.
The Starks.
Yes. We have Catelyn, who as far as my favorite characters in this book, if I'm going to rank, I'm going to go Tyrion, Catelyn, Theon. Those are my three.
Yeah, I would do Catelyn, Tyrion, Arya, Theon.
Fair. But yes, Catelyn and her character. What'd you think?
Wonderfully tragic. As far as an emotional pull, I think you feel the most for her, of seeing her family falling apart, trying to hold everything together, ultimately feeling no further joy in life, just food tasting like ash for her, feeling just marching on, trying to hold things together. Now her last remaining thing is being there for her children and to support Robb as being the king of the North, which she didn't even particularly want him to do. And then he turns her away and tries to, the king doesn't need his mother around, which Joffrey, Cersei with Robb and Catelyn, again, everything's a parallel in this book. So that is, I felt for her then, of her realizing her son is pushing her away, one of her few remaining children.
Yeah.
After the rest get killed and all. So yeah, tragic.
Yes. Yeah, Catelyn, already from book one was one of my favorites too, and continues to be so. The Robb dynamic in book one was awesome to watch, and now an interesting one we have is her and Brienne.
Mhm.
And we see Brienne as this character that's introduced when Catelyn goes down to see Renly and she wants to make peace or just figure out something between Stannis and Renly so that, hey, the bad guys are the Lannisters. Let's get along, guys. And so goes down there and sees that Brienne comes up on top when they're doing some sort of like several day duel, some contest thing. Brienne requests to be Renly's Kingsguard or on his. I think they still call it Kingsguard.
His
Yeah,
what rainbow coats or something like color
I forget.
colored
Yeah.
cloaks. I don't know.
We've been doing good with names so far. We're almost there. But then Brienne, when she sees this person Renly, who she actually kind of loved, die, and it's not her fault, escapes with Catelyn. You see just little glimpses of her. She's a very I guess dependent's the right word, but she wants to find something to follow, and she wants something worth fighting for. And hey, that was Renly. Now it's Catelyn. And she's willing to swear fealty, and now she's gonna be with Catelyn to the end. That's her next goal. And she's kind of got this. Obviously, she's this large woman who typically you're not going to be a knight, and especially this setting. You're not going to be fighting as a woman, but she's so large, and she's and people describe her as ugly as well. So she was kind of put down this path into being a knight, and I think without getting into spoiler stuff, but I like her setup so far. Brienne and Catelyn are a great duo, and one of my favorite parts about the show, which in the book as well, is when we get great duos together. I'm very excited for ones to come, but Catelyn and Brienne's a great one. Are there any duos that you particularly liked in this?
Oh, I mean, Tyrion and Varys are always great.
They're a great
That's probably
time.
my favorite duo, if I have to have any. Just all the dialogue between them is so much fun. I love it. Just the spider and the imp.
And Varys' character, I love how mysterious he is, where we get two big pieces of information in this book. One piece of information is Cersei saying when she was first in court that Varys was, giving her all the information, acting like they were best friends. And so Cersei was thinking that Varys was her closest confidant. And now she looks at Varys like, nah, he's just a political pawn, right? Now you kind of ask the question, is he doing the same thing with Tyrion? Is he playing this game? Is he playing the Game of Thrones? And we find out that Varys tells Tyrion and opens up about how he became a eunuch. He explains that he was paralyzed, given something to paralyze him, and had his junk cut off without the pain he still felt. He was not numbed, but he was made a eunuch, feeling all the pain from some type of sorcerer or magician who was doing some concoction that
use it for magic.
And then he hears a voice, a strange voice. And ever since that day, when he became a eunuch and heard that voice, he hates magic. He will do anything to stop it. And so Stannis, who is using magic to kill Renly, and this red woman that's involved, he will do anything to stop that because that's how he became a eunuch. So we find out a little bit more about Varys and his motivations and what's going on with him. Is he a friend of Tyrion? Fascinating. I love all the political players here. He's a big one. And Baelish, we get a little less of in this because he goes off on a mission.
Yeah.
But any thoughts on any additional thoughts on Varys or Baelish or the players in King's Landing?
From book one, you already know Baelish more so than Varys is more of a snake.
Oh yeah,
already from if Tyrion is looking at all of them of like, yeah, Lord Baelish, Littlefinger or Varys, and he's like, oh, they're all snakes in the grass. We as the audience know that no, Littlefinger actually is the snake in the grass. He already betrayed he already betrayed Ned. We know that the whole knife thing, that he tried to get Bran killed in some form or fashion, it is from him. I'm pretty sure that's confirmed at this point.
Sorry, my nose got stuffy I'm a little sick, by the way. Yeah. say it once more, yeah.
Remember, Bran was almost assassinated by the Valyrian steel knife.
Yep.
And then
it
was they tried pitting it on Tyrion, now with Catelyn confirmed from both Jaime and Tyrion, the fact that they haven't met, they confirm the same story. It's something not
is it
adding
Peter?
Up.
Right.
It's probably not Tyrion, and we know because we have Tyrion's point of view.
Which do you know what the show reveals, right?
Yes,
But-
I do know what the show reveals. I'm not giving anything other than
Yeah.
what the book does.
Yeah. Now, I will say
But-
the book is different.
Oh.
Doesn't go that direction. But that's later stuff. That's later stuff.
Yeah, we'll find out.
That will surprise you, I think. That
Okay.
plotline, the show after book 2, I think, well, probably 3, but starts to diverge. I've heard in a lot of ways from how the show ends up doing things. So I think hopefully in future books there's more like surprise for you.
There is a big thing that I know is a completely different direction that the books take that I am really invested in.
I'm
that the
very
show
excited
doesn't
for.
even touch with
Yes.
the 10-foot
Oh,
pole.
I know what you're talking about.
I
It
think
is-
we both know.
Hold on,
the
let me
thing.
cover my mouth. Right. Okay. Mute. Bleep this, Nick. Bleep this. Yeah. I'm stoked.
That I'm looking forward to a lot.
I
That's
am
probably going to be the fun thing.
So excited.
Yes.
We won't even say what book that happened. Oh, yeah, definitely bleep what that the thing we said, Nick.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So we were talking Peter Baelish and Varys.
So he's the snake in the grass. We don't get much of him. We get a little bit, but not enough.
Then we have the Hound as well. We get a little bit more of his background of he's afraid of fire because his brother
burnt.
Burnt him real bad. And the Hound's interactions with Sansa are very interesting, and she feels extremely threatened by the guy.
As she should.
As
But
she should.
I will say the Hound's okay. With how the book ends with the Hound, this is one of those character and plot progressions that I think really suffers from me knowing more about the character, because during the book, I think you're supposed to feel a lot more fear toward the Hound of like, no, the Hound is Joffrey's dog. He's vicious, evil, vile person. Like every time he comes in contact with Sansa, he terrifies her, and just like creepy, all this stuff. And you're supposed to not like him as much. And then by the end, with him like he's afraid of the fire, and he's running away and crying in Sansa's hands. Like it's a vulnerable moment of like, oh, there's something else about him. He's a little bit softer than he maybe pretends to be.
Yeah.
But I already knew that, so like that's
definitely a spoiler thing affecting these.
Yeah, because I feel like I was supposed to be more terrified of him throughout the book, and I wasn't. So,
well, main thing too is terrifying from Sansa point of view.
Yeah,
because Sansa's like this innocent girl, like she sees him as, oh my god, because there's plenty of people to be terrified of him in Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Then we the best character in the book is
Podrick.
yes, good.
Yes.
Podrick,
yes, correct.
Good old Pod.
Yep.
Pod the Rod.
Pod the Rod.
Pod the Rod, which we're not, that's not spoilers.
Well, who cares?
Pod
That's not
Pod's packing is all I'm saying.
okay. I have to ask.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, show-ish. No one gives a shit. This is not spoiler enough. Like, doesn't matter. Is Pod being hung as a horse? Is that a show exclusive, or is that also in the books?
I don't know. I'm excited to find out.
I don't. That seems like a show exclusive.
I hope so. Sorry,
I want it to be in the book.
It's not. Actually, this is important to the plot. It's probably big spoiler. It's 2 gigantic spoilers underneath.
2 bronze spoilers.
Wow. Yeah. We'll see. I'm excited to find that out. I think that happens next book. I'm trying to think of this shit. Wait, no. Did it happen this book in the show? Or like, I'm trying to think. Was that season 2 or season 3?
I don't know.
It was 2 through 4. So we'll see. We'll find out.
Find out.
Raffo.
Hey, look. Even if it isn't mentioned in the book, it doesn't matter. The headcanon is it is
Pod
true.
the Rod. Yeah.
Pod the Rod.
Podrick's got the Roderick. Okay. Then we have Bronn.
Yeah. This again is another thing suffering from. The clips from the show, I think, make him far more
Lackadaisical, is that the word?
Sure, lackadaisical or just more charming. Yeah, terrifying, but he seems more cordial and kind in his own weird way. In the book, I just don't get much from him. Like,
Got it.
He's just at least from the book,
A sellsword?
he's just a sellsword. Yeah, he's Tyrion's main sellsword, but I don't see much of a relationship between him and Tyrion, at least in the book, at least not yet.
Yeah.
Like, I saw it far more in book 1 of them developing this relationship, not friendship per se, but them having an understanding. Book 2, I feel like that's less so.
The couple scenes that stood out for me, one of them was when Tyrion was testing Bronn's loyalty of like, hey, let me see. I had it in the dialogue section later here.
If I had to,
if
I told you
to kill a newborn babe, if I told you to do that,
would you ask
do
me
it?
a question?
And he goes, no. I'd ask you how much. Like, would you say yes? He goes, no. I'd ask you how much would be the question. It's just kind of showing where his mind's at. And then Tyrion gets a little frustrated at him because Bronn is like using his wine and getting a little too comfortable being buddy with Tyrion. So it's the kind of relationship where, we've ran into it. You can't fire your friend when it's in business. Like, we can't fire each other. It's just uncomfortable,
Yeah. But when you come over and then you just pick up,
imagine I come do reviews. And I'm just like Bronn, and I'm look how dirty my feet are right there. Wow, that's for the people at home
for free in this
then,
economy.
If I'm Bronn, I'm just like, I'm drinking your wine. I'm sure that's the kind of relationship Bronn and Tyrion have.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Just the rest of the review like that. That's how I feel it comes across. But in the show, he does a great job at making the dynamic fun. So
yeah, so that's something I just noticed. I felt was a little bit lacking in the book as far as a relationship goes.
And we didn't get back to the other Starks, for example. We talked Catelyn, but we didn't talk your favorite, Jon.
What about him?
Your favorite character.
Yeah. What do you think of him? Like, let's start. Everyone knows my thoughts at this point. What do you think about him?
Yeah, Jon, especially early on, I'm like more. He's a fill-in for now. The plot is moving slower in Jon's space in the north. He at the very end of the book gets into starts to infiltrate the wildlings, or like it just gets into that direction, which to be continued. So up to this point, we know Jon is loyal. He's
the good boy.
He's good. He's the one character we don't have anywhere else because we have villainy and grayness and evil everywhere else. So we have a normal character. Your normal protagonist you'd see in another book is Jon. He's the good guy you'd follow.
The one maybe like, not good guy thing he does is the woman from the wildling camp that's
Ygritte?
Yeah. Or no, the incestuous
Craster's Keep and her name Gilly. Are you talking about Gilly? Or
yeah, of her asking to be saved, of like not even just for her but for her child, worried about her child being sacrificed in the woods and being, raped by her father and husband, and Jon going, just no, can't do it, can't save you, sorry, I was told not to, bye. And yeah, he feels a little guilty about it, but that's about it. And then we move on.
Gotcha.
If there's anything more, that's not really hero-like. But again, there are no heroes in a Game of Thrones.
There's your good guys.
There's your good guys.
Yeah.
It's just, your good guys are not always, like, heroes. They're just better than everyone else.
Not your heroic moment because they haven't been winning very much yet. So,
yeah.
And even when, Rob's been winning so many battles this book, I didn't see him.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Whoever's winning, we don't get to see them do this.
Come on, give us
We're
some.
not allowed to see a Stark win. That's not how it works. If a Stark's winning somewhere in the world, we don't get to see that perspective. That's not allowed.
No.
And
my favorite, not addition to the book, we see him in book one. Or, no, we don't see. We hear of him in book one, but Stannis Baratheon is one of the best parts of the characters in this book as well, where I kind of, if you don't mind me giving this description, this gets into prose, but it's Stannis' intro of what kind of character he is. So, Stannis Baratheon, Lord of Dragonstone, and by the grace of the gods, rightful heir to the Iron Throne in the 7 kingdoms of Westeros, was broad of shoulder and sinewy of limb, with a tightness to his face and flesh that spoke of leather cured in the sun until it was tough as steel. Hard was the word men used when they spoke of Stannis, and hard he was. Though he was not yet 35, only a fringe of thin black hair remained on his head, circling behind his ears like a shadow of a crown. His brother, the late King Robert, had grown a beard in his final years. Maester Cresson had never seen it, but they said it was a wild thing, thick and fierce. As if in answer, Stannis kept his own whiskers cropped tight and short. They lay like a blue-black shadow across his square jaw and the bony hollows of his cheeks. His eyes were open wounds beneath his heavy brows, a blue as dark as the sea by night. His mouth would have given despair to even the drollest of fools. It was a mouth made for frowns and scowls and sharply worded commands, all thin, pale lips and clenched muscles, a mouth that had forgotten how to smile and had never known how to laugh. Sometimes, when the world grew very still and silent of a night, Maester Cresson fancied he could hear the Lord Stannis grinding his teeth half a castle away. First off, brilliant description. That's how you introduce a character and explain a character. It gives all of his personality and quirks. But that is Stannis. Using the descriptions like leather and forgotten how to smile. That's repeated imagery.
Mouth made for scowls and frowns and sharp commands.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great.
It's lovely. And Stannis is this hardened man who I really like this one-off line that Cersei said when the battle at Blackwater was happening, and where she had the executioner there and was telling the Sansa, the reason he's actually here is to kill us. And she's now drunk as well, talking about Stannis saying, if it was anybody else, I could seduce them, but it's Stannis fucking Baratheon. I'd have a better shot seducing a horse than Stannis fucking Baratheon, just to show his kind of will of he is a straight... Everyone, Tyrion, how he has his vices, and Cersei has... Every character has their vices. Stannis, his vice is not lust. His vice is not common in Westeros, where a lot of people are just sexual deviants and all these sorts of things. But Stannis, you get his character. He's to the straight and narrow, and he's very stubborn as a man.
Yeah, to the point of, you think in the beginning that he is not a complete idiot, and he isn't. He's not dumb. But as the book goes on, you start going man, this guy's gonna lose. The fact that he keeps going, trying to fight these battles, and when he's asked, okay, isn't there another way to take, we gotta go after the Lannisters. They have more.
Uh-huh.
And he's nah, if I don't always win, then if I run away, then people won't, they won't fear me. They fear me because I win, so I have to win in the most brutal way possible. All these little things, not willing to think, 2 steps ahead. Now, maybe that's because, the Red Woman tells him, hey, look, you're actually going to win. You need more troops. I guess that's the better argument, but I don't know. He seems so stubborn that he's not willing to change plans when things are different.
And I get his psyche completely too, because he's thinking why these characters are all compelling is they all not just make sense, but this is that person. They're irreplaceable to me. Where Stannis, he knows he doesn't have the charisma of Renly. He knows that people don't follow him because he's a good person. Hey, yeah, you follow Stannis. I know what I'm doing. I'm a good ruler. No, they follow him because he's off and on edge, on kilter. He has that hardness, and so he kind of commands wins by fear. And
they want to follow him because he's the winner.
His image, yeah.
If you don't want to be on the wrong side of Stannis Baratheon.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and it makes sense. And also the brother who has been, looked down on, always spurned, second brother to King Baratheon, and then basically
gets sent off to just having
backwater area of keep conquer this land for me, brother.
It used to be the Targaryens.
Yeah, and then just hey, brother, I've done all these things for you. Are you gonna make me your hand? No. Are you gonna make me your heir? No. I'm gonna give you nothing. Hey, that castle that you were supposed to get by right because, I took, all of Westeros? Nah, you don't even get your home castle anymore. You get backwater tiny island out there.
Well, it is Dragon Mount, right? It's
Yeah, but he doesn't like it.
Also, what is it? Was it Storm's End? Whichever place he defended. Wow, I'm forgetting that detail. But where he defended, it said that he ate rats and mice rather than surrendering.
No.
And he was about to eat people, and he had to be talked off the ledge of like, all right, let's not go that far, Stannis. He's like, I will not lose. That's who Stannis is. And Renly, he's like, hey, what's going on? The reason Renly is vying to be king is he goes, Stannis is not going to be, he's not a good king. I'm going to be king.
And he makes a good degree of sense. Like, He's like, hey, I'm a fairly just ruler. I'm not a moron.
I'm a good guy.
I'm willing to be merciful. Like, I'm willing to be hard if it needs to be, but also, I'm not a cruel bastard. A lot of these people are cruel bastards.
Yeah.
I know I'm okay. And then him just like, but you don't have the rightful heir to the throne. It's like, what do you think?
What did Robert do?
What did Robert do? Like, Robert didn't have a claim to the throne. He won it by strength. He took it. I'm going to have the same right as Robert. I took it. That's all the right I need.
That's it.
Fair. Everyone else dancing around like, oh, well, you're the rightful king. Oh, I'm not the... Renly actually going...
Power is power.
Power is power.
Which we've seen...
Everyone bitching.
Said again
No,
and again.
like, oh, the rightful king matters. Like, no, it's whoever controls the throne. That's all that matters. Who cares what their blood is?
Also, is it even the throne itself, or is it just more like power is power,
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Tywin in charge, or is it Joffrey? Right. So then we have the question. So Sir Davos. Anything on Sir Davos?
I liked him.
His backstory, which you mentioned with his fingers, is very...
Yeah, and him carrying around the bones of his fingers in a little pouch as for luck.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, he's just got that personality, and also him being grateful to Stannis and grateful for the loss of fingers. Like, there seems to be something honorable to him of like, it's something he paid for the good life for his children, of like,
yeah,
to be able to step away from the smugglers, like free reign, not even step away in a like going back to the shadows and always having to be on the run. He's like, no, I paid for my, not that I was even forgiven for my crimes. I paid for my crimes for my children to actually, live potentially as knights in, lordly manners. Like, they have titles, land, all this stuff now. And he's grateful for Stannis for everything he's given, even the punishment. He sees it with an air of positivity. He's not bitter about it at all, which we thought was interesting.
It's interesting too, the perspectives we get. Correct me if I'm wrong, but other than Theon, all the perspectives we get in the book are quote unquote good people in general. Because our point of views that we get are Tyrion, Catelyn, Sansa, Arya, Jon, Bran, Dany, everyone that we should be rooting for, and then Theon. So Theon's the one mind we get, and why it seems more twisted and pathetic too, where we get to see his perspective on the world. Where we don't, if we got Stannis' point of view in this book, I like that we didn't get his. I like that we didn't get his point of view. We saw Stannis through the eyes of Sir Davos. Yeah, we saw why he's followed by somebody else. We got that was a good, I think, good decision to make as far as that went. Yeah,
I agree with you. Yeah, no, it was fun enough character. Served the right amount of time in the story.
And then we have a quick mention, because we mentioned her earlier, but Asha Greyjoy. The scene of obviously her introduction as being a hey, I'm your sister, by the way, and then use that against him when he was starting to say things, and he went, oh yeah, turns out I have a small chest, huh? It just kept using what he said against her, because Theon was shitting on his sister during the ride. But then the scene I liked with her as well was when she went into Winterfell to be like, hey, Theon, stop being an idiot. Let's go. And wanted to get it through his thick head of, you realize what you did. Ships is our thing. We have ships and we are seafarers, and you are thousands of miles, however many miles inland, where we have no support. Everybody around you now hates you and wants you dead. You're an idiot. And it's that, hey, as the reader, we're saying that too, you idiot. Everything you're saying earlier,
Yeah, like-
Asha's projecting what we think onto Theon.
That's also fun.
And now Theon is just going, well, no, father will at least be happy that I got revenge for our siblings. And she goes, they're my siblings too that died, you idiot. This is not a smart decision. That was cathartic.
Oh, and the fact he didn't even care about the revenge. He just, him thinking, what would father care about?
Yeah.
And then just her breaking down of like, great, you took a castle all the way out here that we can't supply. You're surrounded by enemies. What are we gonna do? Like, how does this help anyone? There's a reason why you weren't told to do this.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I love how much of an idiot he is.
He is. Yeah. And then you had Reek, who whispered to Theon to...
Was Reek the sellsword?
Reek was the one that went off to get the men to come back.
Yes.
That turned out to not just be Reek.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what else he was.
Then wait till next book then, because
Yeah.
it's revealed, but more
Kind of like
more,
he's
more to come.
Yeah.
More to come. Yeah.
I don't know exactly. I have my
he
suspicions.
reveals that it does reveal in the end. Do you want me to say or just
It revealed in the end. Then go ahead.
Bolton, Ramsay Bolton.
Who is Bolton again?
Maybe this is a lot of stuff that you haven't seen then. He's the son of the Boltons. I forget the father's name. Roose Bolton is the father's name. Who's in Harrenhal?
Oh, okay.
Roose
Harrenhal.
Bolton. Yeah. Oh, the bastard though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, he's Ramsay Snow, not Bolton. Sorry, because he's a bastard. Yeah. So. Any other? So maybe last character mentioned than any that you come to mind, but Daenerys.
There's also Bran.
Like I said, last character, Dany.
Dany, sympathetic character, but I feel like her character for this book was mostly a vehicle for world building.
Yeah, damn
Mostly.
good one, but yeah.
Yeah, I like the world building. It's fun, cool, but as a character, it's a lot of setup. I'm not invested in her character yet.
Yeah, her plot was definitely set up. Her as a character, she's not the same as book one. It's just more similar development. We didn't get anything new from Dany. We know who she is, and she stays the same.
She does
She's
basically
tested
stay
more,
the same.
but yeah. Static this book.
I guess so. Yeah.
Then what about Bran?
He exists. He's there. More world building, warging, and he can do the wolf dream, and yeah. He has, he really has just the most interesting story.
He does.
Yes, really.
I liked when he was interacting with Theon, and Theon walks in. He goes, "No, I'm not surrendering." Theon's like, "Yeah, you are." He goes, "No." He was like, "Please." Well, he doesn't say please, but yeah. The Bran is probably I was the least excited to read, but as far as like the characters and how well developed they are, and just on page, it's incredible how many of these characters have kind of made their staple. I think in this book, where I want to say Tyrion, Stannis, Theon, Catelyn, and those are some of them, and the ones in the future I'm looking forward to, because depends what point of views are focused on. Tywin, I'm looking forward to more Tywin chapters in the future. I'm looking forward to Jaime a lot, because so far in 2 books, very little of Jaime. He's captured early on, and we get to see his interaction with Catelyn was awesome, and I'm looking forward to more of that. What characters do you want to see more of?
I want to see more of Arya. We already got a good
10 chapters this book.
Yeah, 10 chapters here, but we got her meeting with the faceless man of,
Jaqen H'ghar.
Jaqen
Valar
H'ghar.
Morghulis, or I forget how to say
Valar
it.
Morghulis or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fun. I'm invested in her mystery far more than I am Bran and Jon's. So I want more of that.
And
hers is fun.
It's funny because Bran and Jon's are much more important.
Yeah, I could give less of a shit.
that is our getting in the plot. That is our overarching beat plot. Okay, want to talk plot?
Sure.
What'd you give out of 5 stars?
Plot is 4.5.
Spectacular.
And what carries that plot is Tyrion. Tyrion's plot is 5 stars. Like, yes.
10, 20, yeah.
20 stars. I don't know. Like, everything with him, King's Landing, the politicking.
It's like perfect, yeah.
Perfect. It's great. I love it. More of it. Just the whole book should be that. Everything else. Catelyn also is great. Sansa is, yes, emotional there. It's everything outside the B plot with, Jon and Bran and
I gave it a 4.75 stars, nearly floored me. Loved the plot. Yeah, again, we're talking A plot is the King's Landing stuff and the battle. The Clash of Kings. It is about the Clash of Kings. That is the overarching plot. Then all our B plots in the background is what's going on above the wall. What are the wildlings forming to it? Are they going to attack? Who's this Mance Raider guy? We're getting Bran, who's finding out more about what kind of visions is he getting? What's going on here? We have our very slow B plot in Essos with Dany in Quarth and visiting the House of the Undying, people trying to take her dragons constantly, and then her now moving away from Quarth at the end of this book.
Also, I did like the little nugget of world building there of the people who are making dragon fire, and the Tyrion's going like, how do you have so much more? I know you're scamming me. Like, a bunch of these pots are just empty and filled with water or something. Like, you can't be, like, how did you increase your production? And he's like, I'll be honest, like, our methods were just more efficient. We were making more. I don't know how. You happen to know if there are any dragons roaming about? And like, why? Well,
in theory,
magic went away with the dragons, and that's why magic is hard to produce now without them. It was a lot easier. It's a lot easier to produce magic now. So, yeah. Happen to know any dragons come back? And we as the audience know of like, yes.
Yes,
the dragons have returned. So have the magic. The magic is getting stronger.
It's interesting, too, that how information travels. They don't know that yet.
Yeah. Still.
Dany at the end of the book is now going, hey, I want people to know dragons are back.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. But yes, plot-wise, everything to do with King's Landing, the politicking is like flawless, and it's kind of not the same, not a one-to-one. It's a very different book, but in Way of Kings, no spoilers for this. But when you get to that one character point of view, and you're like, I want to go back to the other character.
Yes.
But yeah, in this book, there was a lot of the B plots that were being set up from the other characters. Definitely you feel the setup. You feel like, okay, what happens in Jon's point of view is they go beyond the wall, Craster's Keep, and they're finding out more about what's this he found in this cloaked hood, who's this Mance Raider guy, what's going on with these walkers, and what kind of magic is going on up here. And
I did like that the undead that Dany confronts seems to be like, they didn't call them, the Ice Walkers, but it seems to be the walkers. So she gets
a little bit of
there's something. A little tie between her and Jon right there, world building wise, and so
and the vision she sees of the Red Keep.
Yes.
So if the one thing that I thought was very different from the show of where it ended, but I can't remember if it was season 2 or 3, but in Catelyn's point of view, the last thing we see is sword to Jaime. Little cliffhanger with Catelyn's point of view. What do you think of that?
I'm very, very big cliffhanger-esque, but it's fine. Yeah. What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Is she gonna kill him? Is she gonna lose her last remaining bargaining chip to get her daughters back? Find out next bat time, same bat channel.
Okay, what about the King's Landing plotline and the Clash of Kings was so compelling? Why was all the politicking just flawless?
It all hinges on Tyrion. Everyone else is to some degree. Everyone has their flaws. Stannis being so stubborn, and then you have Joffrey just kind of throwing a wrench in everything. Cersei also just not knowing how to defend a city at all. Of her trying to buy more weapons to like basically fight within the city's walls, and Tyrion's like going, why are we wasting money? Like, if they break through the wall, we're done. Like, none of that matters. Like, stop trying to get armor. No, none of that.
Yeah.
We don't need that stuff. We need bows. We need fire, arrows, or else we're dead.
Yeah.
All that, then, Renly, Catelyn, Stannis, just everyone. Everything had to go wrong for Tyrion to win, and luckily it did, and that was fun to watch. Because if Stannis and Renly like worked together, probably would have actually survived. If
Renly won
against
Stannis, and there wasn't this magic involved,
probably would have figured something else out. He's also seems a bit smarter than Stannis.
Because it was Tywin plus the Tyrells that helped.
Yes.
Yeah.
So who knows what would have happened if. But then on top of that, Tyrion did have all the dragon fire prepared, and he had this whole method to actually destroy all the ships and everything. So he also gets credit for winning the day. And then, of course, by the end of it, everyone's like, yay, Tywin saved the day again.
Yep.
And it's like, man, Tyrion can't catch a break.
No.
That it's like, I think it's now twice, because Tywin also, like, after the sacking of King's Landing, he comes in, like, after everything's basically done. And it's like,
When Robert and...
when Robert and...
20-something years ago, right?
Yeah, when Robert and Ned basically sack King's Landing, do all the work, and then Tywin struts in, of like, and everyone's like, yay, Tywin saved the day. It's like, he was let in. It's same thing here, of like, Tyrion did all the work of like, he saved the day. And then Tywin gets to come in and take all the credit.
Yeah, the years ago, Tywin helped when the tides turned enough to know, like, oh, he wants to be on the winning side.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got so much happens in this book, and so much of the what I appreciate about this, it's a slow burn political drama, but also battles are happening everywhere. We are at a world. Sorry, we're at a worldwide scale, at least Westeros-wide scale of war, and we see Winterfell falling to this random Greyjoy rebellion. That whole plot line, at least from book 1 and watching the first,
feels like it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, but makes sense because Theon was raised by the Starks because they rebelled before. So what would the Iron Islands do when Westeros breaks out in war? Well, of course they would start invading when there's this power vacuum and Rob's going south. So it's almost like nothing is forgotten here at all. So every plot element comes together. We see, so Winterfell falls, Harrenhal changes side, Harrenhal, which Tywin has at first, leaves. Now Roose Bolton is there. We see Storm's End and the confrontation between Stannis and Renly. So much political drama. If you're looking for that's at this point you've read the book, but people that are looking for just political drama, this is the peak of it. This is what you're looking for. And where the plot, I guess, drags or that would be determined, just that stuff is so amazing. It's so fun to read that then when you go to another point of view that maybe something less interesting's happening, you're like, oh, I want to get right back into the juicy stuff. Come on. And for me, those chapters were probably... I'll say I think Danny's honestly were like the least as far as plot went, as far as the most quote unquote nothing happening. Like
sure, yeah.
I know things happen obviously, but if we're gonna go, what was her story? She was in Quarth, and now she had dragons at the end of book 1. Now end of book 2, she's like, all right, I got dragons, and I'm gonna let the world know about these dragons after being tested and people trying to take her dragons.
Yeah, and she now has some more money.
Yeah, yep. And she wants a third of all the ships in the world for her dragon. Which, to be fair, that's a fair price. I mean, that's not unreasonable.
With her thinking like, hey, these are the only 3 dragons in the world.
I have a monopoly on dragons.
I have a monopoly on dragons. If you want one of the only 3 dragons in the world, I want a third of all ships in the world.
Yep. That's fair.
You know what? Her math is not that flawed.
Yeah. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
It did. So plot-wise, was there any specific moment that happened for you that was not a twist because you knew the stuff, but a plot moment that you thought was geniusly set up or paid off? Because what were we promised this whole book? Hey, we see the Red Woman survives, Crescent gets poisoned, hinting at the end of the book to I don't know, anything that stuck out.
I mean, the best plot moment for me is one that I knew about, but I liked it all. I liked it just as much.
Yeah.
Is Tyrion planting the seeds, trying to figure out who's the spy for his sister. So he plants 3 different stories.
Yep.
Among Varys, Littlefinger, and who
Peter
else?
Baelish,
Peter
Littlefinger, and Maester Pycelle.
And basically, whichever one Cersei actually confronts him with, it's like, I now know who leaked it to Cersei. I loved that plot point. It's basic. I know, like, that's not like that complicated, but just how it's fitted in is well done. It's not just because I've seen this kind of plot point done with, like, you drop a color, you drop like an innocuous detail and see what comes back to you. In this one, it's set up so well because not only does Tyrion's not just trying to find the rat, he's also doing other things at the same time.
Yeah.
That all 3 of his options are acceptable to him, and he's
gonna go with whichever one.
He's gonna go with it. He's not gonna like, oh, hey, this person, like, I take it back. No, he's made 3 suitable options. No matter what happens, he is satisfied. And also,
where's Marcella and Tommen going? Yeah.
And he gets to find out who the spy is. And on top of that, he gets to be tested with, he doesn't have to reveal to the other people that he was particularly testing them. It's because if he just fed them a complete lie, then they'd be like, oh, you were, feeding me lies to test me and see. Like, you would let them in a little bit more on the game. In this case, now he's just like, hey, look, I gave you my plan. It just didn't work out that way. And so he gets to cover his tracks. It's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic plot detail.
I find that more complex. Like, that's an interesting multi-layered way of Tyrion handling that. The basic
idea of feeding different information to potential traitors and
Mhm.
find which one gets leaked, that is something I've seen before.
Yeah.
But the level of complexity and layers to how Tyrion does it is far more interesting.
And the complexity of this too, the plot has so many threads where Tyrion is doing multiple things at once. And maybe a good example of this, like, how I just mentioned the Greyjoys, where of course the Greyjoys would invade. It's almost, Martin thought of everything that would happen in a case in this battle. Like, I can't think of a nuance or detail that didn't exist. Where you even find like the peasants in King's Landing being angry, and that scene we see with Sansa getting attacked. That scene, but also, I don't think this was in the show. I can't remember, but we have a group of the antler heads.
Yeah.
And the defectors who were pro Stannis inside of King's Landing. Well, of course that would start to happen because they think Stannis is going to come in. They're going to be on the winning side. Everything's thought of. And Tyrion, he's doing multiple things at once constantly. He's combating and getting dirt on Cersei with Lancel, getting information from Lancel, while also working with Varys and hearing information from Varys. So he has multiple sources of information. He is, and everything is very, very fun. So when you went back to his point of view, there was so much going on that it was fun to see, like, what machination is Tyrion going to do next. It's awesome.
All the while also paying off his debts to the Night's Watch is
awesome.
Yeah, just him being able to accomplish multiple parts of his end goals at the same time is impressive to see.
Yes. And we've talked so much about the characters and that, so I'm trying not to tread on the same ground, but the plot lines of any of the other characters.
Sure.
Anything that stood out to you?
Arya's was plenty tense. I think hers was very exciting. It's a survival story of her just living on the edge, just trying to survive and try to get home, is thrilling. I understand that her plot line is mostly set up, but at least it's more exciting. She's doing stuff. She's trying to survive. Things happening to her, the escape plans, and her meeting the faceless man to, like, you've taken 3 names away from the gods, and God is owed 3 names. 3 names you shall get, and name 3, and you get whatever.
What do you think about her not saying Tywin immediately?
She's 11.
Yeah.
You give her a little grace.
Also, I
little bit.
loved her response of when she did think about putting Tywin on. She was like, "No, kind of want to do it myself." I was like, she went like, "No, that I want revenge." Okay, Arya.
Yeah,
Okay.
a part of it is going like, okay, one. So I've heard that comment before of like, she could have ended the show right here, just like Joffrey, Tywin, Cersei.
Yeah.
Done.
Uh-huh.
We've mostly solved the show. But no, it's
Funny thing is that still wouldn't solve it at all.
I know it wouldn't.
Yeah.
It would have gotten a good chunk of the revenge out of the way.
Yeah, revenge, but honestly, that would cause I love how anybody that dies here, the thing's still going. This is not, this train's not stopping, but yeah.
But no, what makes sense is, one, her being given this by the strange man. How is she to know that he actually could kill Joffrey and Tywin? Like that actually is on the table.
And could he?
And she doesn't know. She's just like, he's just a guy. He's a weird guy, but he's a guy. And so she's thinking more short term of like, hey, this guy with a sword, probably pretty skilled enough. He could probably help me kill some of these guards so I can escape.
Yes.
So she's thinking small term because, like, especially after the first kill, it's like, oh, he literally just pushed a guy. Okay. It's not like that impressive. It's the second one of like, how did he get the dog that this guy raised from a pup to kill him? Did he kill him? Like, how did he make him look like that? Like, what? How did he do that? And then going, wait a minute, this guy actually is talented and skilled. Like, there's more to him. Damn it, I should have done Tywin.
Yeah.
And then
it's presented great in the books.
Yeah, no, it's
when you
done
see it
well.
when you see it on the show, it's like, Arya, why aren't you?
Yeah, because he's like far more. Just as an actor, he just oozes aura.
Maybe this is Maybe this is why George didn't put Tywin and Arya in those scenes, because if she was interacting with Tywin constantly, then very easily could have Jack and Hagar, like, she's with Tywin every day. Why would she not say Tywin? The revenge is right there. So maybe that's the justification of why it's not in there.
That would make sense.
Yeah. But yeah, Arya's was she was leaving from after watching Ned die, her father die, was with the group with Gendry and company and Hot Pie. Sorry, we couldn't name every character in the character section. And the one whiner who ends up dying as well, I forget his name.
Yielding guy?
I forget his name, but
he was always saying something like,
yes,
you have to yield. Just yield.
Yield. But then ends up running into the mountain in them, and it leads to Harrenhal and
another character. You can't wait for their death. Like
the mountain. Yeah, the mountain's brutal.
Mountain just needs to die. Like, that is a dog that needs to be put down.
Yeah.
So
a dog that even the Hound the dog's afraid of. That's a vicious beast. Yeah, then we have all these other threads. We had Bran plotline. Anything you want to mention about Sansa's, Catelyn's? I mean, Catelyn's plotline was so interesting to follow with her being our point of view between Stannis and Renly.
Yeah, no, I liked her politics, and mostly I liked her point of view for her internal dialogue was devastating to hear, and I was most emotionally pulled toward her.
And mentioned it briefly earlier, but to get in more detail, the Blackwater, the event of the book that it all culminates to, both the battle itself and how Tyrion rallies up the troops and how Podrick saves him, but that stuff was all great. I see the show, so I was like, oh, all that fight stuff. I love how it was adapted as well, the Sansa and Cersei stuff. I love that so much. Of how often do you get in a battle sequence for a book, like, it's always focused on the war. It's always focused on the blood, gore, the actual battle happening. Or all the plot stuff that compelled me throughout this was, again, the dynamics between whatever two characters would be, in this case Cersei and Sansa, and the political drama. All that stuff is just, Martin does it like that's his expertise. Although all this stuff to me is just expertly done, but that is something that is so hard to find in fantasy. It really is, like, to find good dialogue. That, okay, it's not hard to find. I'm exaggerating, but to this quality, like, he set a standard that, like, obviously there's a ton of good books out there, but this is like almost unreachable for it's hard to compare.
Hearing our author friends talk about, like, you know an author's good when the author puts two distinct characters in the same scene together, and they do more than two. Forget about it. It's so much harder to balance different characters with different motivations all in the same scene and try to like sorting that out, where it's far easier to write a scene with one character in it. Like, you have your main character and they're doing things and stuff happens to them with side characters that don't really matter, but two important, like the duo characters. That is difficult to do and difficult to write, and Martin does that throughout the book. Everyone gets duos.
Yes, and another thing he does flawlessly for me, world building.
Yeah,
I give it a 5 stars. Floored. Yeah,
4.25 for me.
Really great. Okay,
really great. I'm just not as invested in some of the wider reaching stuff at this point, but I like it. It feels alive. I'm just not as curious invested in it.
I'm fully immersed. Like, the detail, everything about this is like, yeah. There's so much to read. These are daunting reviews at times because there's no way to touch the surface of everything. There's so much to discuss, and we haven't even scratched the world building of this.
Oh no, there's lore videos that you could watch that will scratch that different itch. We're just reviewing a book.
Yeah,
we're not going to go in. We can't go into all of it.
No,
there are different channels for that.
There are, but the thing that this series does, George R. Martin does amazingly, so a lot. But one, the history of the world is incredible. That it doesn't just live in the now, but you're getting all the tension and the family drama and dynamics. It's years of history and both zoomed in history and wide scope history, where we get the zoomed in history of what happened 20 years ago, killing Mad King Aerys. Jaime slayed him. He's the King Slayer. What Ned did and what Robert did to take down King Aerys, and why Daenerys is here. All of that in the near terms explained. Then we get the wider scope of, okay, what happened several hundred years ago with the Targaryens coming to Westeros in the first place and making Westeros and the Seven Kingdoms yield. And then we get in the north a lot of details about tens of thousands. We have Bran the Builder and going back to the dawn of times. And a lovely detail in this is when Jon meets Ygritte in the north above the wall in the Wildling, and she explains from the Wildling culture how they're related. Her and Jon are related because long ago, I think it was Baal. I probably wrote it down. Let me see if I wrote it down. I hope I did. People will know what I'm talking about.
Bael?
Bael, yeah. The Wildling Baal tricked the Northerners and went down to the keep and ended up sleeping with one of the kings, one of the Brands, or one of the past Starks.
One of the Starks.
Yeah, and ended up, so one of the kids was Wildling and Stark, and they're related in that way. And that's one of the tales the Wildlings say. And just every culture feels completely realized, real, and like this to me is like the best, the perfect way to like immerse into a fantasy world. This is what I want. In everything. So anything there, the history, flawless, the near term and long term. And then every type of current political dynamic between any of the last names, the Lannisters, the Tyrells, etc. They have their slogans and their sayings. The winter is coming versus Lannister always pays their debts. And then why are the Tyrell and the Baratheon dynamic, and why there's allies, why they're enemies. Everything's so well explained. And that doesn't even scratch the surface of the other thing it does with magic and Dany and all the things in Essos and Korth. And then we actually have to discuss, well, we don't have to discuss because there's too much to discuss, but all the subtleties of magic with the Red Woman, and we get that's the more. I know George R. Martin's inspired by a lot of historical fiction, and he likes that historical fiction magic system stuff where you get there's no magic system in hard lines. It's not there's not rules to it, but you get more of that mythos feel, and that's lovely. And endless amounts of immersion, and then we get all the subtle character names that are just thrown at you. That this is probably just a peak reread of because I saw the show and now I'm able to read it, I'm already catching up on details that I would not have gotten on a first read through. Like, no way. Of just like in the background of like, who's this random character? Who's Sir Arthur Dane? Like, that's just a throwaway name, but you know all the details. You know, man, it is awesome. And at some point here,
oh yeah,
you liked it. Yeah.
If I cared more, I knew I would love it.
Fuck. Okay. Well, here's one thing too. Maybe you could appreciate this. I know from Wheel of Time you love how like information travels.
Yeah.
And you know, I have 4 books in the deep Wheel of Time, but I haven't gotten deeper. But do you appreciate that in Song of Ice and Fire, where how information is perceived differently, how information travels, how not everybody's on the same page of what's going on, where it feels like everybody's living in their own ecosystem and bubble of what they know. They work on the information they have, and there's lies being spread around too. And so who knows what to believe? Like, do you like that aspect? And
I like it well enough.
Yeah.
I feel like the consequences of it are not, at least not shown as much in this book. I imagine the wrong information will go forward in the future. That'll matter. But for example, of who killed Stannis, or no, who killed Renly? Right? Renly Baratheon?
Yeah, Renly.
I'm saying it right. Okay.
Yeah.
But who killed Renly Baratheon? And that some people saying it's Catelyn, some people saying it's Brienne. Like, it's the Red Woman. Like, but ultimately, does that matter? No, it doesn't really. At least not in this book, not yet. So we'll see. There, all these different pieces of misinformation have not really shown themselves as being, like, you see how people have different point of views and working on different information. We don't see in this book how that matters yet. That's a reason why I liked Wheel of Time, and maybe, again, just takes the books of, like, I got to see whole movements and, like, armies move on basically faulty information and, like, book setups of, like, oh my God damn it. Just the amount of miscommunication, lies have been, it matters to the final battle. Where some of these details, people are operating on false information, I don't think it matters. At least not yet.
What did you like about it, the world?
I mean, heavily detailed, all the history to the main thing is the history between the characters, all that. It's all really well done. I don't care as much. I'm just not.
It's not investment thing.
I'm not as invested as you are or other people, but I know it's really good. It's there. It feels alive. It has all the good things I like, which is why it's really great. 4.25. It's really great.
Nice. And then we get Jack and Hagar and the Faceless Man. Like, what's that all about? Now, we see some overlaps too. We hear in Tyrion's point of view about what naming the Faceless Man and this mysterious, are they a cult? What are they? Like, why is Jack and Hagar able to do things he's able to do? So much is here and introduced, and then we have just so much. It's incredible. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. At least that's good.
No, I knew I'd always like it. I liked book 1 too.
Yeah,
I really like. Yeah, they're great books.
Yeah,
great books. They're great books that I don't particularly want to read.
That's insane. That's insane.
That is the right way to put it. Is they're great books. I don't want to read book 3.
Damn.
Don't make me.
Damn.
I don't want time.
Book 3 is known as one of the greatest fantasy books of all time.
That's fine. I want to read other things. There's other stuff I'd rather read.
We'll take a break. It's fine. We'll take a little break.
I want to read Murderbot. I want more Murderbot books.
We'll take a little break. It's fine. It's fine. A little month pause. A couple weeks.
Yeah. Same as last time. Yeah.
Is there any world building detail that you really loved?
Other than the history between the families, no, not particularly. Maybe the Faceless Men. They're
like
cool.
That detail.
I like their. I find it cool. I find Jack and Hagar, whatever his name is. I liked how his dialogue is. His pattern of speech from Bravos is just more fun. Like, ooh, I want to know more about these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Red Woman's mysteries at all, and her the god the light. We follow the light. Oh.
Yeah. Spooky, and she got coals for eyes and just weird, like she births these evil shadow creatures to do her bidding. It's like, creepy, weird. It's fun.
Yeah. And it kind of gives more details of things we got in the past as well about the Trident and other near-term events that happened in the world. I'm gonna leave it now to the video essays that discuss world building. I think I got my gush fest out of what I love about it.
Sure.
But yeah, go see Alt History X or something. He's the man when it comes to that stuff. All right. Anything else for
No.
world? Prose. What'd you give Prose out of 5 stars?
4.5. Spectacular prose. Spectacular.
Not 5. Interesting. 5. Floored me. The Prose floored me. Yes.
I could be convinced to raise it. I mean, it's just, again, it's the little I'm just not as invested in it, so I don't know how.
It's tough to
I'm
separate
not connecting with it.
Do you try to separate that in your head? Do you try to separate the investment versus
I am trying to, but
yeah.
to a certain degree of, I'm not wowed with the prose. Like my experience with the prose is not the same as a Lonesome Dove. Lonesome Dove, I'm sitting there rereading passages going like, oh my God, what? It just sticks in my head forever. This, I'm going like, yeah, that's really good. And I'm just moving on. I'm flying through.
Gotcha.
So, I don't know. My experience with it affects it to some degree.
Why is it spectacular? What's he do well? Yeah.
The dialogue back and forth between like these great characters that you don't have. I think it's easier to write one character that is intellectually superior over another and just like, ooh, look how smart I am, and kind of browbeating everyone in the scene with them. In Game of Thrones, it's between two equally smart characters, and the back and forth banter goes both sides. And so sometimes one's winning, sometimes the other is. I love that balance. It's just, it teeters my totter.
Oh, it teeters your totter. What? Okay, you made up for everything. There's obviously a bunch of one-liners that are quoted all the time. That fear quote we used earlier, quoted all the time. The two things I love about Martin's prose the most is the dialogue between the characters, unreal, and then secondly the descriptions. I gave that Stannis description before. I won't repeat it, but he's able to put images in your head also in very clever, unique ways, but it solidifies a point. Like I've often with descriptions in a worse writer will throw different descriptions, but something won't land or stick with you in your head because a lot's explained and described. He explained the shirt, the dress, the fashion, and this and that. But Martin will zone in on a certain feature. So Stannis will always remember that his thin lips, his leathery expression, the not smiling, that's stuck in my head. He's that stern man, the black hair that act like a shadow of a crown. All of that just sticks because it all has a cohesive thing that's connected to the character. So he does that phenomenally. I think people should learn from that. What a hot take. Learn from one of the greatest fantasy series. But that's one thing. And then on the other hand, the dialogue, as you're saying, the wittiness, the banter, the cleverness of the lines too. It's just fun to read when it's what Tyrion's in a lot of them, but other characters are too. That I love it's that trick you do of when a character takes something that's said literally as playing on the words of like it's hard to pull off the top of my head, but at one scene between Tyrion and Cersei, I remember Tyrion saying something clever to the effect that Cersei was saying, like, he's going to like screw you or fuck you or something like that. He goes like, "Oh, really? I thought you preferred men," or something like something. Do you remember that line? It was
it's mentioning something along the.
I'm trying to get the exact quote.
Screw whatever. He's saying screw you, or let's screw you, Tyrion, and then him saying, "Oh, I didn't know you were offering it to both to all the brothers."
Yeah, something like that.
I didn't know that was on the table.
I didn't know.
I thought it was only for Jamie.
Jamie, yes. So there's so many examples of that throughout the book that will just constantly make the dialogue fun to engage with, which is why for a book that's all drama and political drama with a little battle at the end, why it's able to have staying power to me as well. I'm not going to sit through grueling dialogue scenes if it's not fun, entertaining, active, well described. All of it is, and yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Spectacular stuff.
It floored me. So, here's maybe an end message to end this with.
Okay.
The brightest flame casts the darkest shadow.
Power is a lot like, great power casts a long shadow, and a small man can cast a very long shadow.
And if you got a long rod like Pod,
Pod the Rod does not.
Pod the Rod has a good bod.
Pod the Rod doesn't pay at the.
Whorehouse?
Yeah, I'm trying to find a
the
rod.
brothel.
What
Pod the Rod doesn't pay.
What synonym for prostitute works with rod?
The rod doesn't pay.
Pod
the Rod doesn't pay for those that have forgotten God.
That's not bad. That's not bad. There we go.
That's something.
That's better than what I was coming up with.
I don't even want to know. All right, this was our Clash of Kings review. We'll be doing book 3
eventually.
It's going to take a while for me to convince on the TBR. Let us know down below.
Don't expect it till January next year.
Let us know down below how badly you want a Storm of Swords. That's going to be the book to win over Rich officially. Let us know how badly you want it. And thanks for watching this review. We didn't plug it earlier. But we have a Patreon, by the way, where you can join our monthly book club. And this month, it's going to be past. We're going to be doing something by the time this is up. But Hyperion, we're doing next week with the book club. And we'll be having plenty more. So go ahead and join that in the description down below.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye all.